I swapped phones with my boyfriend by accident and discovered his group chat about me.
I always thought my best friend would be the first person clapping when my dreams came true. Instead, she ended up being the one quietly cutting the parachute while telling me how proud she was. My name is Lily, I'm 18, and ever since I can remember, I've had one clear goal: get out of my tiny town and study at my dream university in another city. While everyone else seemed mostly fine with staying, getting a local job, or seeing what happens, I was the girl watching campus vlogs at 2 a.m., reading student forums, memorizing scholarship deadlines, and imagining myself walking across a big campus with a backpack and an iced coffee. My best friend Emma knew every detail of that dream. We've been inseparable since we were 10 years old. Sleepovers, inside jokes, crying over crushes, ranting about our parents. She knew how badly I wanted to leave, just like I knew how terrified she was of being left behind. Whenever I showed her photos of my dream university, she'd say things like, "This place looks like it was made for you," and then, half joking, "If you move away, I'm blocking you on everything." I always thought it was just her dramatic sense of humor. Senior year rolled in, and suddenly it wasn't just talk anymore. My grades were good. My counselor, Mr. Harris, said I had a real shot if I nailed the essay and didn't miss any deadlines. I went home that day shaking with excitement and fear, told my mom, and she hugged me and said, "If this is what you want, we'll do everything we can. Just remember, no one cares about your future more than you. Don't hand your life to someone else." Then I told Emma. We were on the bleachers after school when I said, "Harris thinks I can actually get in." She shrieked, hugged me like I'd already been accepted, and said, "You have to try, Lily. You can't rot in this town with the rest of us." She offered to help with everything, brainstorming essay ideas, checking my grammar, reminding me of deadlines. When the portal confused me, she said, "Just give me your login if you want. I'll help you double check. I'm good with forms." I was overwhelmed and exhausted from school and my part-time job, so her help felt like a blessing. I didn't realize that the moment I handed her my username and password, I wasn't just trusting my best friend with a favor. I was putting my entire future in her hands. The next few weeks were a blur of school, work, and application stress. I'd finish homework, drag myself home from my shift at the cafe, and then sit in front of my laptop until my eyes burned. Emma was always there, either in person or on video call. She'd say things like, "You look like death. Go wash your face. I'll check the portal while you breathe for a second," or, "You missed a box here. I'll fix it, don't worry." We joked that she was my manager or agent. Sometimes she'd stay up later than me, and I'd give in and say, "Fine, here's the login, just make sure everything's green." She'd text me screenshots of the portal with all the little check marks and write, "All good, future college girl." I trusted her completely. Around us, the whole grade was starting to talk about decisions, who was applying where, who had already been rejected, who was pretending not to care. I tried to act calm, but every time my phone buzzed, my heart jumped. Then the decisions started rolling in for everyone else. Our group chat filled with screenshots from different colleges. People posted, "I got in," on their stories. Some cried over rejections. I kept refreshing my inbox, but there was nothing from my dream university. Whenever I got anxious, Emma had an answer ready. "Relax, maybe they're doing it in batches, or maybe they're saving the best for last." I wanted to believe her so badly. Then, one afternoon, it finally came. I was sitting on my bed, half listening to music, when I saw the email. Application status update. My hands shook as I opened it. It started with the usual polite intro, then came the knife. "We regret to inform you that we are unable to offer you admission." But what really messed me up was the explanation. It mentioned incomplete documentation and missing materials that could not be considered after the deadline. I stared at that line over and over. Missing materials? No way. I remembered uploading everything with Emma on call, both of us checking the list. My transcript, essay, recommendation letters, everything had a green check mark. I walked into the kitchen in a daze and told my mom. They rejected me. She read the email, frowned at the missing materials part, and said, "This doesn't sound right. Are you sure you submitted everything?" I felt offended and hurt. Yes, I checked like 10 times. Emma checked too. When I said Emma's name, my mom's face did something small and unreadable, but she didn't push. She just hugged me while I broke down. Later at school, Emma hugged me and said, "I'm so sorry, but hey, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. At least you'll stay here with me, right?" The words were meant to be comforting, but they lodged in my chest like a rock. That afternoon, I went home on autopilot. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt this cold, heavy clarity settling in. For years, Emma had been the person I ran to for comfort, the person who knew everything. Now, I had to face the possibility that she was also the person who quietly killed my shot at leaving. I called her and asked where she was. "At home." "Why?" she said, sounding normal. "I'm coming over," I replied. She hesitated for a second and then said, "Okay." When she opened the door, she was in pajama pants and an oversized t-shirt, holding a bowl of popcorn, like it was any other hangout. "You look intense," she joked. "What's going on?" I walked in and said, "Close the door." She did, slowly. I turned to her and asked, "Did you log into my university portal after I gave you my password?" She blinked. "What?" "I mean, yeah, a couple of times to help you. You were stressed, remember?" I pulled out my phone and showed her the withdrawal email. "Did you withdraw my application?" Her eyes flicked to the screen, then to my face. There was a tiny, silent moment where she looked completely guilty. Then she said, barely above a whisper, "I panicked." My voice shook. "Panicked about what? Me leaving?" She started crying, words tumbling out. "You don't understand, Lily. You were going to leave, meet new people, forget about me. Everything was going to change, and I was just going to be stuck here, alone." That night I logged in and I saw the button and I thought, maybe it's a sign, maybe you're not supposed to go. I told myself you'd get into some other school closer. I thought I was protecting us. I stared at her. You weren't protecting us. You were protecting your fear, and you used my future as the shield. Her mom walked into the hallway and asked what was happening. I looked straight at her and said, "Emma logged into my account and withdrew my college application so I'd get rejected." Emma gasped. "Why are you saying it like that?" Her mom's face went pale. I didn't stay to hear the rest. I walked to the door. Behind me, Emma sobbed, "I did it because I love you." I stopped for a second and said, without turning around, "If that's your idea of love, I hope I never see it again." Now I'm reapplying for next year. Mr. Harris is helping me explain what happened, and a couple of schools said they'll take another look. Emma has sent me long, desperate messages, apologizing, blaming her anxiety, begging me to forgive her. I haven't replied. I lost a year of my plans because the person who should have been cheering for me chose to chain me to her fear instead. So, if you were in my place, listening to this, could you ever trust someone again after they secretly destroyed your biggest dream just to keep you from leaving? Or is that the kind of betrayal you walk away from and never look back? After a couple of weeks of pretending I was over it, the rejection still didn't sit right. The reason felt wrong, like someone had slapped a label on my application that didn't belong. So, I went to see Mr. Harris. I felt stupid, like I was bothering him after he'd already done so much for me. But I walked into his office anyway and showed him the email. He read it slowly, his eyebrows pulling together. "This is strange," he said. "They don't usually phrase it like this if everything was submitted correctly." He turned to his computer. Let's log into your application portal together. Sometimes the system keeps a record of what happened. I typed my username and password into his screen. When the portal loaded, I felt my stomach drop. The status didn't say rejected or denied. It said, application withdrawn by applicant. I blinked. That can't be right, I said. I never withdrew anything. Mr. Harris called the admissions office on speaker. A woman answered, pulled up my file, and calmly explained that the application had been manually withdrawn through the online portal at 1:37 a.m., 2 days before decisions were released. She said an automated confirmation email had been sent at that time. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear the rest. After the call, Mr. Harris looked at me and said, check your email around that date, especially spam. My hands were shaking as I opened my phone. My inbox was clean, but in the spam folder there it was. Confirmation of application withdrawal. Sent at 1:37 a.m., I opened it and felt sick reading. We are sorry to see you withdraw your application. I whispered. I was asleep. I didn't do this. Mr. Harris was quiet for a moment. Then he asked gently, who else had your login information? And that's when everything clicked. I remembered the late night call when I was exhausted and Emma said, just give me your password. I'll double check everything from my laptop. You need sleep. I remembered the screenshot she sent, proving everything was green and fine. My mind replayed her words after my rejection. At least you'll stay here with me. It felt like all the air went out of the room. Mr. Harris said, whatever happened, this is not your fault. You did your part. Someone else interfered. I nodded, but inside there was only one name echoing in my head. Emma.